In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a lift system. So there's going to be one long room, and there's going to be a lift in the middle, and there's going to be a height difference between a couple of sections. So this is what it would look like in game. So you've got this starting section, and there's a lift. It takes you up, and you're up here. And it also lowers automatically if you walk along this ledge, so that you can go down a bit easier. Okay, so let's see how to actually make this kind of map. So I'm going to start from a fresh file again, and I'm not going to save this file. Once again, I'm going to go with Boom, but it doesn't really matter what you choose. Alright, so first of all, I'm going to make a long room. Let's say 1024 by 320. And I'll just make an elevator in the middle, about 128 units wide. But of course you can change this however you think it should be. Okay, I'm going to separate all these sectors first, because these two are linked together and that's not meant to be the case. So I'll use the Make Sector tool for that. Okay, let's raise the ceiling in this room a little bit. I'll raise it to 256. And this is going to be our starting area, this is going to be our lift, and this is going to be the higher platform. So I'm going to raise this a bit to 64 units. Okay. So this is going to be the part that's going to move up and down. Clearly you see that there's two sections with unassigned textures that we need to fix first. So this is going to be the front of the lift, and I'm going to assign it a texture called Plat 1. This one. Like so. So it looks alright. I mean, it's not completely perfectly aligned, but you can fix that however you see fit. And on the other side, I'm going to give it a nice support texture. So I'll go with support 2, like this, so that when the lift is moving up and down it doesn't look ridiculous. Can change the floor as well, and for this you can use the step texture, for instance. This one tends to work quite well. You know, you've got something that already looks like a lift. Ignore this part for a moment. Okay, so obviously it's not going to function like a lift just yet, and we have to see how we can change that, how we can fix it, so that it actually works as a lift as well. So if I drop a starting position on that side, and then try to start the map, which it somehow didn't do. Oh, hang on, I see what the issue is. I accidentally named it E1M1 instead of Map01. Alright. So, let's try this real quickly. Nothing happens clearly. So there's no way to get up here, even though it looks like a lift. If you've seen the door video, you're probably already able to tell what we're going to have to do for this system to work. So I've switched over to line def mode again, and this would be the front of the lift, and this would be the other side of the lift. So this would be the bottom area, this would be the top area. I'm flipping the lines again so that the front is facing the correct direction. And what I do here is I'm going to right click on this line. I'm going to go to this this whole menu with the different actions, and there's a specific lift set of actions. So if we expand this, you see there's a lot of options that you can choose from. And the one that seems to make the most sense in this situation would be to have SR, lift, lower, weight, raise. So that would be, you act as if you press a switch, it's repeatable, the lift lowers, then stays there, and then goes up again for a short while. So this is just the standard lift that you see all over Doom. So I'm going to give it this action. The tag is 62 there. And okay, so now we can already lower the lift, and you can leave it at this. You know, if you go in game and you try to mess around with it, then you see the lift is already functioning. So you could say this is already it. You know, you could leave it at this. You've got a functioning lift already. What I also tend to do quite a lot, but this is completely, you know, up to you, is that I select the other side of the lift and I give it another lift action, namely that you walk through the line, and then it lowers, and then it waits, and then it raises up again. It depends a bit on what you're making, but this can be very convenient sometimes. So now if we test the map, this is functioning exactly the same as before, but now if you walk off the lift, it's going to lower again. Which might seem odd now, but it's quite convenient when you have this kind of system where you want to walk down, and maybe, you know, maybe there's a wall blocking me in front of me, and then the lift lowers automatically and you can drop down with it. Heck, I can even show you what it would look like. the situation that I'm thinking of. So if I lower the ceiling, for instance, which might be the case in some of your maps, like this, and I give it a different texture real quickly, then you've got the system where you're going to have to lower the lift to get up here, and then if you wouldn't have this specific action on this line as well, you know, on this line, then you wouldn't be able to get out of here. You would be stuck in this room permanently. It depends a bit on what kind of design you're going for, but this might be something that just pops up for you. And with this mechanic, you would still be able to get down there by simply crossing the line and then automatically lowering the lift. This can be very, very convenient sometimes. But yeah, that's all there is to it. That's how you make a lift. You can also make lifts that work via switches, you know, you can experiment with it, but this is the basic idea of a lift.